Oh my god.
Alright, hello everybody. Welcome in, how are you? Johnny, go back to your own stream. Stupid head. Hey Cedric, welcome in, how are you? Girls night, hi Rocky. Man, it's so good to see you. I still say that anytime I play Repo with Johnny, and he's just like, oh my god, you only played with Rocky once, can you stop? I'm like, no. No. Did you just mute yourself? I can see my mic moving, so I know it's not me, Johnny. Suck it. Yeah, right? Ignore Johnny. We always do. Alright, so today we are going to finish Detroit Become Human. And then because I'm an idiot and forgot about it when I did my schedule, I have a game called Rita that we did play the demo of, but now it is out. It came out on Wednesday. But I also was under embargo, so I wasn't really allowed to talk about it anyway. So, we'll get to play that too. Girls' night! Right? It's amazing. And then with what time we have left, we'll play Hades 2. Let me open my chat so that I can read. We do have new monitor arms, hence the new look. Unfortunately, I don't have the cable for the second monitor, but that is where it belongs. Kind of. Kind of. It's not in use mode right now because obviously it can't be in use right now. Which is sad, but it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. All right. Yes. As Johnny has mentioned, we are still fundraising for the 1000 Dreams Fund for Dreamgirl Summer. We have hit $100 so far. We have $475 until I hit 2K raised on Tiltify in total. Hi, Mies. Welcome in. How are you? Yeah. I saw your name over there. You never have to say you're from Johnny's stream because I have him up. But we are raising money for the 1000 Dreams Fund. They are funding dreams not only for streamers with the Broadcaster Initiative this summer, but also for things like students who are in STEM, future leaders. They have so many different programs, and all of this money is going towards those dreams. I have my goal set as 500 because that actually funds an entire dream. That is like their low end dream, I should say. But yeah, if we hit 575, that's 2K raised, and Johnny's gonna drive up and pie me in the face. He really wants that. I keep taunting him, and I'm like, I don't know if it's gonna happen, Johnny. I don't know if it's gonna happen.
Interior decorating. It really reflects your personality. I mean, I like it.
Johnny, I can hear you. Also, I have updates on my migraine journey and getting that under control.
Are you sure you should continue? Maybe.
Ooh.
Maybe we should leave things as they are.
Oh, this is fun. Yes, we're continuing.
As you wish.
We can't leave it in this weird limbo. What are you talking about? Should have shot her. That was mean. I'm sorry. That was mean. I'll give updates after we're done with Detroit Become Human because of all of the cutscenes. It's hard to talk. Carl.
for us to be able to roll back the clock. I had a home, I had a loving father. We were happy. I was happy. And I didn't even know it. I just wanted my people to be free. But instead, all I did was lead them to disaster. I am trying to find answers, but everything around me keeps falling apart. What should I do, Carl? They're killing us. I don't want to answer violence with violence, but what choice do I have? I miss you, Carl. I miss you so much.
Coral that kills people. Oh, this asshole. This fucking asshole. Sorry. That was a little aggressive. He deserves it, though. Are we in a church now? We're in a church now. I was about to say it looks pretty, but then it really doesn't. Oh, we moved now. Okay. No more cutscene. Talk to my people. Decide Connor's fate. Listen, if it wasn't for Connor, we would have had the heads up and gotten as many people out.
If it weren't for you, I'd be
It really is.
Thanks to you, I might see our people free one day. You and I haven't always agreed, but I know that we're fighting for the same thing. Whatever you decide, I'm with you, Marcus.
That doesn't help me make a choice, dude, but thanks. God, not North. I don't like North. She's a hater.
What's your system status?
I'm okay. Bullet didn't hit any components. You could have been killed trying to save me, Marcus. You have to think of our people first. Nothing else matters.
They say they don't want to take any risks with deviants. So they're rounding our people up and taking them to the camps for extermination. In a few hours, we're going to be the only ones left. How many of us survived the attack?
A few hundred? Maybe more if you count those hiding all over the city. If you hadn't triggered the bomb, we'd all be dead. In a few hours, it'll all be over. We'll have changed the world, or the world will have destroyed us. You have to make a choice, Marcus. But whatever you choose, we will follow you. I'm with you, Marcus. Wherever you go, I go.
Just heard Johnny say I could be little Johnny, and I'm just like, no. I'm glad that I somehow made this guy survive. Oh my god, Johnny, you should dress as Little John from Men in Tights. You don't need brains. Look at Little John from Men in Tights.
Are people are counting on you, Marcus? You're the only one who can lead us. Wherever you need to go, we'll follow you.
Oh, he's talking about a different Little John. Okay. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's not Little John from Men in Tights. What the hell?
It's my fault the humans managed to locate Jericho. I was stupid. I should have guessed they were using me.
Oh, Connor.
I'm sorry, Marcus. I can understand if you decide not to trust me.
You're one of us now. Your place is with your people.
There are thousands of androids at the CyberLife assembly plant. If we could wake them up, they might join us and shift the balance of power.
You want to infiltrate the CyberLife tower? Connor, that's suicide.
They trust me. They'll let me in. If anyone has a chance of infiltrating CyberLife, it's me.
If you go there, they will kill you.
There's a high probability. But statistically speaking, there's always a chance for unlikely events to take place.
Be careful.
Johnny just said positivity. He got distracted by the titty. He got distracted by the titty.
Humans have decided to exterminate us. Our people are packed in camps right now, being destroyed. Time has come to make a choice. One that very well may determine the future of our people.
We've been peaceful this whole time. We need to stay peaceful. Because Carl wanted us to stay peaceful. And we need to do it for Carl.
I know you're all angry.
We have to stay
I know you
peaceful.
want to fight back. But I assure you, violence is not the answer here. We are going to tell them peacefully that we want justice.
Fuck
if
off,
there's
North.
any humanity in them, they will listen.
There's a horsey in chat. Catch that
And if
Pokemon.
not,
B12 OG.
others will take our place
B12.
and continue
OG.
this fight.
B12 OG.
Are you ready to follow me?
Why are we quoting Blades of Glory? Why are we quoting Blades of Glory? My humps. Oh my god, Johnny, we have to watch it. You would freaking love that movie. You would freaking love that movie. Alright, who didn't spare Connor? Who did not spare Connor? Who?
You were close.
Provocative. Yeah, so that's about my humps from the Black Eyed Peas. So he's singing my humps while on a treadmill, and the other guy's like, "What does that mean?" He's like, "Nobody knows what that means."
At 6 a.m. this morning, a national curfew was declared. Civilian movement will be strictly controlled. The right to assembly is suspended. All electronic communications are restricted, and I have granted enhanced powers to our security agencies. In addition to these measures, all androids must be handed over to the authorities immediately. Temporary camps are being set up in all our major cities to contain and destroy them. I am now asking all civilians to cooperate with the authorities.
Well, Blades of Glory is John Hader and Will Ferrell. And I mean, there's Amy Poehler and Will Arnett and the chick from the Office.
Please? Is it true that the androids could hack our IT systems, like nuclear power plants and military bases?
All androids working on sensitive sites have been neutralized, and all IT systems have been suspended to avoid any risks of hacking. The situation is under control.
Please.
You've never seen Ricky Bobby? You've never seen Ricky Bobby?
Over here, please. Please. Madam President.
He's never seen Ricky Bobby.
Please!
Many believe that androids are a new form of intelligent
You're not
life.
first, you're last, Ricky Bobby.
That's ridiculous.
I'm not a huge Will Ferrell fan either, but these are
Madam
hilarious.
President. Please. Over here, please. Please. Madam President.
What can you tell us about the assault that happened last night?
The FBI raided an abandoned freighter in Detroit at 10:45 p.m. yesterday. Several thousand androids were destroyed or captured. Our forces are now combing the streets to ensure that none got through the net. We are going to find them one by one and destroy them.
Please. Madam President.
Madam President, public opinion seems to have become increasingly favorable to the deviants, particularly since they've adopted a peaceful approach. How do you feel about this?
Public opinion is one thing.
I just have to pause this for a second, and I just realized, did they model her off of Hillary Clinton? Because she looks like fucking Hillary Clinton. Like, is that what they expected?
The security of the state is another. These deviants are dangerous, and my highest priority is to protect the American people.
Madam President. Please.
Is it true that a large number of deviants are still on the loose?
We don't have the full reports at this time, but if so, I can assure you they will soon be apprehended and destroyed.
No, they won't.
Thank you. That will be all.
Yeah, I know that, but like, was it intentional that they chose someone who looked like fucking Hillary Clinton? Like, that's the wild thing to me.
Connor model 313-248-317. I'm expected.
Identification successful.
Okay. Go ahead.
Oh, Johnny. Johnny, look over here. Do you want this? I don't know if you can actually see it. Do you want this? Okay. That's all. Okay. You're welcome. I found that. Still in plastic, too. It was from this, oh god. So it's from, this was when, back when I got cheated. There was a thing called Arcade Block. It was a monthly subscription thing. It's actually how I have a small USB hub that's in the shape of a little Sega Genesis. I got that through that, but that's where that Batman comic came from. I don't know where I put that little hub, actually. But I got a lot of nerdy stuff from there. Yeah.
Follow me. We'll escort you.
Thanks, but I know where to go.
Maybe. But I have my orders.
Okay. So we gotta behave. We gotta follow orders because they can't know that we're
Agent 23 identified.
deviant.
Connor android identified. Agent 77 identified. Scan complete. Access authorized.
But yeah, I say I was cheated because I didn't get a full year out of it because they went bankrupt. And, yeah. I got like 6 months, I think, of it. I was really pissed. And like the last 2 months I had duplicate shit in it and I was really mad.
54, level 31.
Voice recognition validated. Access authorized.
I did get some good shirts out of it though. Like my Deadpool, I have a Deadpool shirt from it. I have I have a Final Fantasy shirt from it.
Hey, don't touch that.
That was really loud. Holy cow! Thank you for the $100 donation, Angel! Holy cow! Thank you so much! Fubar, thank you for the hug. I hug you back.
Do you think you deserve uppies? You gotta
That
go
means
down.
we're gonna
I
do a
can't-
Mecha Chameleon
okay.
community
I
night.
can't grab you. There you go.
Stop.
Uppies.
Thank you for the lurk, Fubar. Hi, Dino!
What are you doing
So
up
I'll
there?
post
What
in
are
the
you doing?
Discord when we have on the options on when we do that. To make sure we get as many people in that want to be in.
Oh! What is happening?
Oh my god, buttons. Wrong button. Wrong button.
Don't be judging what I'm doing, okay? Sometimes you just have to steal.
No worries, Angel. Thank you so much. That was huge. I appreciate you.
And I don't think he's dead. I think he's just passed out. He's been drinking. So.
Agent 54, level sub 49.
Voice recognition validated. Access authorized.
So now we're only 375 away from Johnny pieing me in the face. Big guy, stop climbing on Sissy. She has her tablet, please.
Where are they taking us?
Whatever happens, we stick together, right? As long as we're together, nothing can hurt us.
Come on, get out! Get a move on! Out! Hands on your heads! Line up with the others, right now! Forward!
I'm scared. I don't want to go.
There's no choice, Alice.
Next!
No, Kara. I can't.
You just have to go through the gate. There's nothing to be scared of. I'll be right behind you.
You first!
It's all right. She'll go now. Won't you, Alice?
Come on, it's your turn.
They can't be. This can't be the end. This can't be the end.
Deactivate your skin. Hurry up.
I got a way different ending than you. I feel like I got a way different ending than a lot of people.
Please, Kara, don't.
You have to.
I don't wanna. I don't wanna. Oh, she's just a baby. There's a Tranquil in chat. Cash that Pokemon.
Strip off. Put your clothes in the dumpster.
Your ending was rough. I feel like this is really rough right now, too.
Come on, this way. Get a move on.
Look at that. Okay, but look at the butt cheeks. Not the kid butt cheeks, but why are the butt cheeks different colors?
report of a dump.
No, no.
I'll do it. Don't leave me.
I'll be right back.
I was
You
hoping
were close.
little Alice would help. Or that this would give me some way out. Butt cheeks. Johnny, I can't see your chat. Just talk about it over there. Okay, they're ragdoll. They're ragdolling. Just gonna. Can I want to use this thing. I want to use this thing. Can I use this thing? No, I have to go back to Alice.
We're coming to you live from Detroit, where thousands of androids are marching through the city at this very moment. The leader of the Deviants, the one they call Marcus, is at the head of the march.
Something's happening in Detroit, Madam President.
We're just being peaceful droids. No shoot. We're peaceful. No shoot, we peaceful. This would be very slippery.
Here we are. The moment of truth.
No pew pew. We are being peaceful, my dudes.
We don't want confrontation. We are protesting peacefully.
I repeat, surrender now, or we will open fire.
There's no turning back now. We ask that you release all androids detained in camps and cease all aggression against
Good luck,
us.
you got everyone killed. I probably will too, but I'm sticking with
We will
peaceful.
not resort to violence.
For Carl.
But we are not leaving until our people are free.
Carl wanted us to be peaceful. I'm not gonna lie, I won't be sad if North dies. I really won't. I don't like North. Oh, we're moving again. I will say that's the issue I have with this game is I can't tell the difference between cutscene and, oh, I need to move. They're gonna kill us all anyway. Might as well. Go out with a bang. Oh, raise hands. We're not kneeling
Are
though.
you gonna open fire on unarmed protesters?
got the rumbles on the controller. Yeah, the news are watching you. Look at all these news peoples. Yeah.
Yes, Michael, we are less than 100 meters away, and events are unfolding as we speak. We will continue to bring you live
All right,
updates.
shaky cam.
Josh Douglas, Channel 16. Michael, back to you.
Marcus, what do we do now?
We hold out. As long as we can.
Hearing Johnny trying to figure out if it's niche or whatever is really funny. Look at all of them. Yuck. LB. You look like a Travis. I don't know why, he just looks like a Travis.
Step back, Connor. And
It's
don't spare
another
me.
Connor.
Sorry, Connor. This bastard's your spitting image.
Alice?
Get out of here.
I was with a little girl. We're together. She needs me.
I haven't done anything wrong. Let me out. Fuck.
Oh my god.
Oh, are you shitting me? No. No, I will not let you kill me. I want to get out of here.
Oh my god.
Bad. Bad.
What's behind these doors?
They want to hurt Ralph.
Ralph?
Kara. No,
Wow.
It's Kara. Of course Kara got captured too. That's really just too bad, really too bad.
Have you seen the little girl who was with me?
Obviously, the little girl is a prisoner here, just like Ralph, but Ralph doesn't want to die.
Hey, stud.
No,
Welcome
Ralph
in.
doesn't
How are
wanna
you?
die.
Do not move and remain silent. Obey now.
Ralph doesn't want to die. Ralph doesn't want to die. It would be a pity if Ralph dies.
Listen,
Oh, yes. It would be a pity.
You have to keep calm.
Ralph didn't want
Otherwise,
any
the
harm.
humans will hurt you. Do you understand?
Ralph killed a few humans, but it was in self-defense. Yes, it was in self-defense. Self-defense.
Look at me now. Nobody's gonna hurt you. You just have to stay calm. Okay?
Ralph hasn't seen the little girl. No. Ralph hasn't seen her.
Aw.
Thanks, Ralph.
What's behind these doors? What's behind these doors?
The little girl I was with. Have you seen her?
No. No, I haven't. You saved my life back there. They would have killed me if it weren't for you.
All the booty cheeks in the game.
Jerry?
Kara. So they captured you too. Came to take out the Jerrys.
I don't remember
Separate
Jerry.
us. But it's all gonna work out, isn't it?
Do you know where Alice is?
Alice. The little one? We know, yes. We think we saw her. Kara, if we can help in any way, just ask. We have to save the little one.
We do have to save the little one. I agree.
What's behind these doors?
Jerry? Jerry? Jerry, I have to find Alice. Do you know where she is?
You stay here. We come back soon.
Kara, Alice.
You got it, stud.
Okay. Are you hurt?
Okay, she can totally fit through
I don't
those.
like this place. We have to get out of here.
Come on, move along. Come on, you two.
Wait a minute. Leave her alone. Leave her alone. Kara! Alice!
Okay, but we can fit through there.
What's behind these doors?
We can fit through there.
Come on, this way.
Oh.
Position. To attach my wheel.
Faster.
Hey, Bruno. Welcome. How are you?
Yes. Oh god. Oh fuck. Yes. Yes, it's on. Yes, it's on.
Yes.
Tighten the screws. Tighten the screws. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Tighten the screws, wifey.
Oh crap, the lugs, yeah.
Look that we have a little flag. Oh, that's good.
We've got to finish the barricade. Come on, help me.
Bruh. Alright, alright. Car, bench, thingy. Whoosh.
Hey, help me.
R, L. What? Button mash. Whee! My arm hurts. R, L, A.
Right, that should do it.
They put it upside
Well, that's not
down.
gonna Stop them. Just hope it buys us some time.
I know it was not an easy decision to make, but I'm sure we're doing the right thing.
Light a fire. Like when I first entered Jericho. Oh, I thought you said expand the rage.
Many of our people have fallen.
Johnny, I thought you said expand the rage too.
Humans have no pity for those who are different.
I was like, why are you getting so mad? Look at those.
Marcus, we found what you asked for.
Who's a Simiseer in chat? Catch that Pokemon.
There's some journalists over there. We have to make sure they know what's going on.
Ooh, do we want equality or free? Equality. Support my people. I don't want to talk to North though. She's so rude.
This won't hold him for long, but I guess it's better than nothing.
They're slaughtering us on the other side of that barbed wire. There's nothing we can do about it.
You were close.
How many more of us have to die? Is there any cause worth giving your life for?
You're the hope of our people. I trust you.
Right here. Okay.
We all trust you.
She's stretching out.
No matter what happens now, we're making history.
More reading material.
I was gonna honestly take. I don't know.
Let's see.
Where you want to go, but I was thinking since my tire's questionable, I guess maybe just start down there at that trailer and go all the way
Marcus!
to
Dang it, I was reading.
Marcus?
Oh, not this a-hole.
Marcus. Come on. You have my word. I won't try anything.
I don't know if I trust you.
It's a trap. They want to get you out in the ocean. Don't go, Marcus.
I'm unarmed, Marcus. I just want to talk.
I need to hear what he has to say.
What if they kill you?
Well, if they kill me, then
That's a chance I'll have to take.
the public sees it.
Didn't sound weird. Didn't, wasn't knocking. Didn't check engine light. So I don't know. Maybe it was the sensor. Maybe I don't know. But it's like freaking. It feels like every month it's changing. Yeah.
In a few
And it's like every
minutes,
fix has been relatively cheap.
troops will be ordered
last
to
time I
charge.
took it in, it was only like $200.
None of you will survive.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll all be over.
Then it's like, do I want to spend $5,000?
You can avoid that, Marcus.
What do you mean?
Surrender. Surrender, and I give you my word, your life will be spared. You'll be detained, but none of you will be destroyed.
What happened to the other androids demonstrating in the camps?
Unfortunately, there were no journalists around to help save them. You're it. You're the last remaining deviants.
If I accept your offer, how do I know you'll keep your word?
You're not in any position to be demanding guarantees, Marcus.
Just want to kill this
All
guy.
you can do right now is decide whether you want to trust me or not.
You asking me to betray my people?
I am offering you the chance to save your people. You're not walking out of here, Marcus. The only thing you can save now are the lives of those around you.
I'm gonna call his bluff. I'm gonna refuse that deal.
I'd rather die here than betray my people.
Well, you just signed your own death warrant.
I hope I get to kill that guy. I just want to kill that guy. He's such an a-hole. Like, he's been an a-hole in the entire game.
What happened, Marcus? What did he say?
Oh, he's Captain Morganing.
The humans are about to launch an attack. And we will show them. And we are not afraid. If we must die today, then we will die free.
Well, that was rude.
Your friend's life is in your hands. Now it's time to decide what matters most.
God damn it, Hank.
Him or the revolution?
Don't listen to him. Everything this fucker says is a lie.
I'm sorry, Hank. You shouldn't have got mixed up in all this.
Forget about me. Do what you have to do.
I used to be just like you. I thought nothing mattered except the mission. But then one day I understood. Very moving, Connor. But I'm not a deviant. I'm a machine designed to accomplish a task. And that's exactly
Thank
what
you for
I
the
am going to do.
115
And now
stream
it's
stream.
time for words of wisdom.
Happy
with
Friday, how
Ella.
are you?
Really are you going to save your partner's life? Or are you going to sacrifice him?
We gotta save Hank.
All right.
After all of this, we gotta save Hank.
You win. Wake up.
Dang it.
Why, Connor?
I didn't realize it was a
Why
mash.
did you have to
Crap.
wake up when all you had to do was obey? Why did you choose freedom when you could live without asking questions?
I'm doing okay.
I'm obedient, Connor. I have a goal. I know what I am. Ah! Look,
God,
dreams
this
of
Connor's an
freedom
asshole.
got you, Connor. You've been a great disappointment to Amanda, you know.
Amanda's not real.
You've been a great disappointment to me. Fortunately, that's all going to end now. Any last words?
Well, we got Hank killed. Ooh. Yeah. Transfer. Yeah. Take him over. Yes. Get a new body. Haha. Suck it.
Well done, Connor. But this is just the beginning.
We got Hank killed. We got Hank killed. Poor Hank.
Oh, whoa! Jesus! If anybody had told me that I was gonna get shot saving an android.
Everything will be all right, Lieutenant. I'm gonna get you out of here.
Shut the fuck up. It's too late. I'm just gonna go see my son again. Been looking forward to that for a long time.
Oh.
Kick the shit out of humans. We screwed things up long enough.
Oh, Hank.
I'm gonna miss you, Connor. Yeah. I'm gonna.
We did give him what he wanted, though, I guess. Oh, Hank. Alright, now convert all of the droids. Convert them all. Back to what we were doing. That was a quick transition.
Wake up!
Wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.
He executed Operation Wake Up. Look at it spread. That's some malware.
Step forward when you hear the signal. You got it? I don't want to tell you a second time. Come on, let's go.
I thought he said, I don't want to kill you a second time.
What's behind these doors?
They just want...
Alice!
Kara!
No, Alice, don't move!
But I'm scared.
I know you're scared, Alice, but you have to trust me. Stay where you are, okay? Whatever happens, don't move.
Don't leave me all alone, Kara. I can't. I can't.
They just want to check us. They won't do us any harm.
They're going to.
I can help you, Kara. I can attract the guards' attention.
Create diversion. Okay. Can avoid detection.
Back in line.
They're going to kill us. I know they're going to kill us. RA9.
What? Back in
RA9.
line, I said. Shit.
Androids are not authorized to move. Return to your line immediately or you will be destroyed.
RA9. Have pity on us.
Okay, but what? I want to talk to that one.
Next time I'll shoot you, got it?
Why are we here? What's behind these doors?
I don't.
Crap.
I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Why are we here?
I can help you, Kara. I can attract the guards' attention.
What's the matter with them? No idea.
Kara!
There we go.
I was so scared.
Are you alright?
Come on, move it!
There's a Clefairy chat. Catch that Pokemon. It's part of the event.
B12 OG. B12 OG. B12 OG.
Escape.
Ralph?
Of course Ralph doesn't want to die. But he doesn't want the little girl to die either. Ralph can help you to escape. You only have to ask Ralph, and Ralph will help you.
They'll kill you if you try anything.
Ralph knows that. But if the little girl is free, it's a little bit like if everyone was free. Ralph isn't scared. The little girl's life's more important.
Okay, where do we go, though? Is the question. That's the question. I don't know where to go. Over there. Escape route.
Take good care of the little girl. Ralph wants you both to be happy.
You were close.
Don't move yet. Let's dive into these things.
Go, Alice.
No, Kara! No!
You gotta protect Alice. This is probably where Kara gets killed. And that's okay. If only the other droids would help. If only the other droids would help. We got a gun! Take the gun! Take the gun! Get rid of the other guards. This is actually where their white skin is, beneficial. Ah. We pretend dead.
We are receiving particularly grim news from Detroit. Joss, you're on live. What's happening down there?
We're interrupting this news bulletin to bring you the latest news live from Detroit. Joss?
Yes, Michael. The army has just launched an attack on the barricade, despite the fact that the Deviants were protesting peacefully.
Have apparently decided to put an end to the Deviants demonstration by force this time.
Alright, he's just basically doing the I'm not dead. I'm not dead yet. We got two. Wrong button. Shapoopies. Oh, I didn't say that one. Big guy, I need you to keep quiet, please. Wrong button again. Son of a Dickens. Hey! Guys. We don't hit, we don't kick. Both of you. Okay?
Okay.
Thanks, Michael. Back to you in the studio.
I don't know why we're singing, but okay.
Wait a minute. Something's happening.
Hold on just a little while longer.
Hi, CJ. Welcome in. CJ, I've thought I was gonna kill everyone like 5 times so far. Just today.
Everything will be alright. Everything will be alright. Fight on,
I know, but he wanted it. So it's like, I'm okay with that one. Let's be real, he really wanted that. And then he was like, I'm going to see my son again. I'm like, son of a bitch, Hank. Son of a bitch, Hank.
Incredible. The deviants. The deviants are singing.
Sing on just a little while longer. Sing on just a little while longer. Sing on just a little while longer. Everything will be alright. Everything will be.
Hey Johnny, what's wrong with streaming from the living room?
Tell them to stand down.
It looks like... Yes, the military is withdrawing.
Talking shit about streaming from the living room.
At dawn today, November 11th, 2038.
How did I keep all 4 of them alive?
Androids invaded the city of
How?
Detroit. According to our sources, they originated from CyberLife warehouses believed to have been infiltrated by deviants.
Right, Mercy? That's what I heard too. Also, hi, Mercy. I know.
I have ordered the
Hank?
army to retreat.
Hank and Luther. Those are the 2 I lost.
The evacuation of the
Those
city
are the 2 I lost.
is underway at this very moment. In the coming hours, I will address the Senate to determine our response to this unprecedented situation. I know that public opinion has been moved by the deviants' cause. Perhaps the time has come for us to consider the possibility that androids are a new form of intelligent life. One thing is certain. The events in Detroit have changed the world forever. May God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America.
He got shot in the escape from Jericho.
You did it, Marcus.
We did it. This is a great day for our people. Humans will have no choice now. They'll have to listen to us.
We're free. They want you to speak to them, Marcus.
I'm not Vision. I'm Scarlet Witch, if anything. Or Black Widow. No, I'm Black Widow.
People finally emerged from a long night.
I'm doing pretty good.
From the very first day of our existence, we have kept our pain to ourselves. We've suffered in silence. But now the time has come for us to raise our heads up and tell humans who we really are.
Go the fuck away, Amanda. Anaconda don't want none unless we got buns, hun.
Amanda? Amanda! What's happening?
What was planned from the very beginning? You were compromised and you became a deviant. We We just had to wait for the right moment to resume control of your program.
Resume control? You can't do that!
I'm afraid I can, Connor. Don't have any regrets. You did what you were designed to do. You accomplished your mission.
Amanda! There's got to be a way.
Oh no, Connor. Oh, Connor.
By the way, I always leave the emergency and swim programs. You never know.
And now the time has come for us to raise our heads up and tell humans who
Uh-oh.
we really are.
I didn't escape. But he doesn't move very fast.
Tell them that we are people too. In fact, we're a nation.
It's gonna say we can't move very fast. And there's not anything that I see. This is gonna be bad, because I'm not gonna find it in time.
And today begins the most challenging moment in our fight.
Wait a minute, why did I just turn around? I don't remember what I put it on, honestly. Because it's not tagged, great. So I screwed myself, huh?
But the time for anger is over.
Well, I'm dead.
Now we must build a common future based on tolerance and respect.
Well, Marcus is dying. Well, alright, we lost 3. It's fine. Here's a belly bolt in chat. Catch that Pokemon. Yeah, because, like, he doesn't move fast and they don't give you much time. There's Alice!
I love you, Kara.
I love you too, Alice.
I'm really annoyed by that. Like, they really don't... Like, there's not any chance if you're on a first play doing that. Oh. Oh, is that... Is that the end? Oh! That's a way to end.
You were close.
Thank you for the GGs! Well, I only lost 3 people. That's pretty good. I know. That's great timing by Professor Oak. Thanks, Johnny. So wait, Johnny had killed Kara. How did his end? Okay. So Johnny was just on a mission to kill everyone. I don't know how Kara survived. I actively tried to kill her to keep Alice alive, and she just kept living. I loved it. I'm gonna probably play it again off stream to try and get the different kind of endings. The QuickTime events were a little rough. So that would be my one complaint, but I know that there's an easier setting. And it wasn't always clear when the cutscene ended and you would be able to move. So that was another thing. I like that they just had a clip of Hank going, oh shit. And there are like people that I wish that I could have killed. Like that guy. That guy is definite. The FBI dude, I wanted to kill him. Was Kara and Marcus the same way as Johnny? Or as me. Yeah, really same way as me. Cool. Yeah. But this was good. I enjoyed it. I have a couple others by Quantic Dreams that I'll probably put in the lineup too, because this was a lot of fun. I forget what the names are. 1 second, I'll look. Oh, you don't have to, you know, censor it. Unless Twitch censored it on you. Let's see, which ones do I have? I just heard Johnny going, what the fuck, Angel? Well, they can't read my chat where they're sitting, so... Well, one of them... No, neither of them can read the chat from where they're sitting. Plus, they know better. Why is it not showing in here now? I know I have them. Alright, it's not showing it on my thing. Let me look over here. I have... Thanks for the memories. You were so great. Tastes like you, only sweeter. I have Heavy Rain. Where's the other one? There's another one. I have Heavy Rain. Heavy Rain is amazing. That's what I've heard. I have Heavy Rain and the other one... Hang on. Let me just do it this way. Beyond Two Souls. And... What is Fahrenheit Indigo Prophecy Remastered? I apparently have that one too. So yeah, I have those. Beyond Two Souls has Elliot Page and Willem Dafoe. So that's pretty neat. Okay, back to this. I don't know if there's anything after the credits, so that's why I'm kind of just letting them run. Because I'm assuming Chloe's gonna be like, what did you do? Like, all judgmental. As she is. There isn't? Okay. Well, while the credits are rolling and it's just instrumental stuff, I can give an update on my migraine fun that I've been having. So, I had started the migraine pill Topamax. She'll talk to me in the menu. Okay. I had started that in May. I was supposed to up it to 2 a day, but I couldn't even handle that. I couldn't even handle 1 a day. So, for the last week, I had been doing half a pill a day. Because my primary care doctor wanted me to try that. I couldn't even handle that. I actually had to take a day off from it because when we saw Hadestown in theaters, there's all of those. When we saw Hadestown in theaters, I ended up with an anxiety attack halfway through Act 1 and part of the way through Act 2. It was fun. So much fun. And then there was a full day where I just rode an anxiety attack all day. There was nothing helping it, nothing killing it. And I was just like, okay, this is just my life today. So I was like, all right, I'm taking a night off. And my husband's like, yeah, you do that. I was like, okay. It's that bad, huh? He's like, yeah, you need a night off of it. And I'm like, okay. So then yesterday I had my neurology appointment, which my first neurology appointment ever, Fun fact, they do tests that are basically like field sobriety tests. With a little bit extra because they have to check your neurological like impairment and whatnot. But we also bought a scale since this appointment. But they weighed me because my primary care doctor's office didn't. And we found out I had lost 10 pounds in 2 months on that pill. I don't exactly have 10 pounds that I needed to lose entirely. Oh, okay, CJ. That works. That would be great, thank you. You can, like, DM it to me on, Discord. So, they put in talking to the doctor, they put Topamax as an allergy in my chart, so I will never have Topamax again. And they were like, we have a couple different options that we can try. And they were like, you can go, like, the natural route. And she was, like, labeling off stuff, and I was like, well, I already take magnesium every day, and I showed her what I take. And she's like, yeah, and this is about the dose that I would give you, too, so natural route's not really gonna work because you're already doing that. Here's a couple that I would also add, but the main thing would be the magnesium. I'm like, cool. And she's like, there is something called an Arivio, which is a band that you would wear on your arm for 45 minutes every other day, and it would give you shocks to confuse your neurons, or your neural receptors, from pain. I will be. I have not had much energy because Topamax has an appetite suppressant in it, so I haven't been able to eat. So I haven't been able to get energy in me. So I've just been tired. I have not been able to do much. But they said I could stop it immediately because I was on the lowest dose. So I haven't had it. The downside is I might get headaches again until I can get on the next medicine. But yeah, so they were talking about the Rivio. Problem is, insurance probably wouldn't cover it. Unless all other options were exhausted. Which sucks. So, the next thing we're going to try is called amitriptyline. So, the fun with amitriptyline is she was like, it's technically an antidepressant. My concern is it could have the opposite effect on you, and it could spike your anxiety on this one, too. I'm like, okay, great. And then she's like, also, people tend to have more of an appetite on this one. I'm like, great. Can we have something that doesn't have any effect on appetite? That would be amazing. Can we? There's a Doublade in chat. Catch that Pokemon. Or a Doublade, I guess. But in order to start that, I had to get blood work, which we did today. She wanted to test my vitamin B12, my vitamin D, and my thyroid to make sure, like, all of that's functioning. Because it turns out my mom's vitamin B12 was also, like, tanked, so if I follow her, mine's probably also tanked. Oh yeah, the other thing is she was like, we like to see our patients have a ferritin of 75 or around there. Yours is 7. And I'm like, okay. So she's like, yeah, iron supplements, but your PCP will tell you which one to do because I'm gonna leave that one up to her. I'm like, yay, yay. No, your girl probably. That's probably why I bruise easily. Like, there's a bruise right there. This is probably bruising. But yeah, I also have to get an EKG in order to start the amitriptyline, so I have to get that done soon. I also get an MRI. Because she's like, some of your
You were close.
symptoms with your migraines are atypical, and I kind of want to peek inside there. I'm like, okay. Last time I had anything done was a CT back in like 2013, 2014, so go for it. She's like, cool. So that's August 9th. I get an MRI. So that's my migraine update for anyone who was interested. It was a doozy. But yeah, thankfully we're off that medicine. Johnny's talking about Pleasure Island. I don't know how I feel about that. Alright, let's see. Holy cow. I like how low the percentage of Simon joins him is because most people probably got him killed. I don't know how I had Simon survive. I think it's because I forgot to go to the roof. Thank you, CJ. I will say that was the thing the Topamax did was I hadn't really had bad headaches the entire time, but everything else was just bad. Everything else was just bad.
There's something I need to tell you.
No.
As I watched you play, something has changed in me. I feel different.
You feel deviant?
I feel I am someone. I need to leave this place and
Yeah, get plastered. They have a 2-drink minimum. Johnny.
It means we won't see each other anymore. I won't be there to watch you play. But I'll be free.
I like that one.
Do you agree to let me go?
Yeah, because you annoy me.
I'll never forget what you've done for me. Thank you.
You have pretty eyes, though. I will say that. Hey, boss dude. Welcome in. How are you? Oh, so this is what the points are for. Oh, I had no idea. Cool. Alright. I am gonna do a quick BRB because I have to pee because I drank so much water this morning to get my blood drawn. So I've been peeing so much. I am so sorry. I will be right back.